What if the thing you can't stop thinking about actually happened? And what if OCD is turning your life into a living nightmare by thinking about this all the time? Well, that's real event OCD, and it's brutal because unlike intrusive thoughts that feel made up or bizarre, this obsession is tied to something real. Something you said, something you did, something that happened. And so your brain tells you this isn't OCD. This is just guilt. This is just the truth. But here's the problem. OCD doesn't need the event to be fictional to trap you. It needs a hook, a moment that you care about, feel ashamed of, or can't solve perfectly. And then from there, it can make you loop. It can make you go round in circles, looking for certainty, telling yourself that you're a bad person, that perhaps you should confess to something. And of course, what happens if you struggle with OCD is you go round in circles with this in your head. People tend to tell themselves things like, what if I'm secretly a bad person and I'm just in denial? I'm not allowing that to kind of come up to the to my consciousness. But underneath, if I really dig deeper, maybe I'm a really bad person. And of course, this line of thinking is very ripe ground for OCD to kind of take over. We may find ourselves, really going back into detail into the past, trying to think about it again, trying to have more certainty about it, and all the time kind of digging ourselves deeper and deeper into the OCD trap. The thing is, beating ourselves up in this way over things that may have never happened is not healthy guilt. This is actually OCD's way of kind of getting us stuck. It's OCD's guilt. And the difference is this: healthy guilt, it moves on at some point. OCD guilt, well, it tends to loop and it tends to keep us stuck. And just quickly, if you are struggling with OCD and anxiety, you can get a free discovery call with me. To get that, you can head over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com. There's a link in the show notes. Real event OCD loves to latch on to kind of unresolved moments from the past. And of course, life is full of them. There's no such thing as a perfect past. We all have things that we wish we'd never done. But OCD convinces you that yours is uniquely shameful or dangerous in some way. It whispers, if you don't fix this, if you don't think about it, then you're a bad person, and you kind of need to do this. In my own life, when I kind of go over my past, of course, I can think of situations where I think, well, why did I behave like that in that social situation? Perhaps those people, don't like me now. Maybe they think I'm a rude person. Why did I make that comment? And of course, you can think and think and think up until the point where you confuse yourself so much about what you actually said or what you actually did that you can't think straight anymore. And all we're actually doing is performing compulsions and getting ourselves more and more stuck in the OCD. Another important thing to realize about real event OCD is that rumination feels like reflection, but actually it's not at all. It's quite the opposite. It's problem solving dressed up as healing. But OCD never lets you finish. It always finds one more angle, one more what if, one more kind of loophole to get you stuck again. And I've been there myself so many times. Every time that I think about something kind of to the point where I begin to feel kind of comfortable with it, OCD is really good at kind of coming up straight away with another thing, a different angle, a different perspective. Another way to get us stuck. And before we know it, we're ruminating on that thing, and we're trying to figure that out. And it really is kind of never ending. So if you find yourself thinking about this event for the 400th time, trying to figure it out, trying to have that certainty, only to get very, very stuck again, try to pause, name it. And then come back to the present. You don't need to figure this out. In fact, the best thing that you can do is leave it all together and try to refocus your attention onto something else. And I think another thing that's really important to do with real event OCD is to make sure that we're not bowing down to those feelings of guilt. The feelings of guilt are completely related to this kind of fictional story that we're telling ourselves, about the thing that we're obsessing about. Whether it's completely fictional or not, Of course, there may be some truth. Maybe you were in a certain place, maybe you were with certain people, but we tend to tell ourselves a very negative story about all of the details. This is where the inner critic kind of comes on board. It starts telling us very negative things, and we start feeling, guilty about something that perhaps never happened at all. And so if you start to feel that guilt, well, it's very much related to uncertainty. And really with OCD, what we're trying to do is we're trying to learn how to allow a little bit more uncertainty to be there in the background. When you can do that, when you can allow that discomfort, that's when you can begin to kind of move past it. If you're hearing this and thinking, but mine is different, I really get that. I've been there too with that, and I know how it feels. But actually, it means you care enough to live. It's not about erasing the past. It's about learning to carry it differently and to kind of allow that uncertainty to be there. Often when we allow the uncertainty in the short term, we start trying to figure it all out. Well, we begin to become a little bit more certain. And I know that's a paradox, but often at the heart of OCD, there is a paradox. And when we can bring acceptance to that, that's when we can move past it. So today, see if you can try this. Notice when your mind starts pulling you back into that memory. Label it, that's the OCD. Take a deep breath in and choose to come back to the moment, even if it's imperfect, even if you're still feeling uncomfortable, because your past doesn't define your worth, your response does. Thanks for watching, and don't forget, I offer a free discovery call. To get that, you can head over to my website, robertjamescoaching.com. There's a link in the show notes. This video is for education only. It's not therapy or medical advice. If you're struggling, please speak with a licensed mental health professional.